Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff reacts as retirement ends with a surprising twist at Canadian Open. After becoming the first American woman since Serena Williams to lift the French Open title, Coco Gauff's performance has surprisingly gone a bit off track. She made early exits from both Berlin and Wimbledon, and following that horrible campaign on grass, Gauff was knocked out of the Canadian Open, thanks to an upset by the 18-year-old Canadian, Victoria Mboko. The teenager took just 62 minutes to beat the world number 2 in straight sets, 6-1, 6-4. However, more than the scoreline, Gauff's constant trouble with double faults became the talk of the town after that. After all, 42 double faults in just 3 singles matches is bound to ring alarm bells. Obviously, I'm very disappointed with myself regarding that part of the game just because I didn't play in Washington to work on it, make changes, and do well in training, where I was serving very well. So I would like that to transfer to the match, she said, reacting to her serving woes. But amid all these concerns, Coco Gauff has now managed to clinch the doubles title alongside her compatriot, McCartney Kessler, in the Canadian Open. They defeated the duo of Taylor Townsend and Zhang Shuai by 6-4, 1-6, 13-11 in this epic final. Gauff was playing in just her third doubles tournament since splitting with her longtime partner Jessica Pegula after the 2024 Paris Olympics. She had previously won this tournament with Pegula in 2022. Shortly after this match, Gauff shared a post on her IG stories, which featured pictures of her and Kessler with the champions tag. She captioned that post saying, "LOL temporarily came out of doubles retirement and got a dub." Then, in another IG story, she shared glimpses of herself and her doubles partner posing alongside Townsend and Shuai after the match. Coco Gauff is currently 183rd in the WTA doubles rankings, with the latest win marking her 10th title overall. There is a Grand Slam title among these as well, which she won alongside Katerina Siniakova at the 2024 French Open. In fact, it was partly because of that that Gauff is not seen teaming up with someone as often as she used to. "My goal was to always win a double slam. I'll maybe play every now and then. I don't know if I have the motivation to go week in and week out anymore like I was doing it," she said during the US Open last year. "It is nice mentally to have a break in between, like not competing and just go out and practice and work on the things." Now, it'll be interesting to see if this title triumph encourages her to play more doubles events this year, or not. But interestingly, Gauff has found something weird when it comes to her serves in the singles and doubles events. Coco Gauff explains the difference in her serve while playing doubles events. In singles, Coco Gauff has now played 44 matches this season. Although she has managed to win a Grand Slam already this year, her serving woes have time and again popped up on the discussion table. She has already committed over 250 double faults this season, and this can be a major concerning factor for Gauff ahead of the US Open, something that has been pointed out by tennis experts time and again. While having a conversation on this topic during her podcast on August 5th, Serena Williams' ex-coach, Rennie Stubbs, said, "My God, like her serve, I don't understand why now she has literally 2 coaches. Nothing has changed on her serve, like the ball toss is so far ahead of her on the second serve." Gauff is currently coached by Matt Daly and Jean-Christophe Forel. Following a subtle jibe at her team, Stubbs sent a few tips her way on how she can improve her serves and also advised her to follow her idol Serena Williams' footsteps. My suggestion to her would be, after the US Open, no Asia. Just shut it down like Serena would do, said Stubbs. She believes the fast, hard courts may prove to be a bit tricky for the American to handle. But amid all these, Coco Gauff observed an interesting thing in her game. After her 32 victory against Veronika Kudermetova in the Canadian Open, she spoke about the difference in her singles and doubles game. "My doubles yesterday, I hit 0 double faults, so it was just like, okay. It's definitely positive. I just would like to serve how I do in doubles and singles. But that was the reason to play, is just to give myself pressure moments. You know, it's weird. I feel more pressure serving in doubles than in singles, because I don't want to sit here and give the match away for my partner. All she now wants is to try to bring that same mentality in singles as well. If we take a look at her record in the doubles events this year, prior to the Canadian Open, she had played doubles at just 2 tournaments, Madrid and Rome. In both of those occasions, she was defeated in the QF. But now, she has finally managed to go past the finish line. Share your thoughts on her title triumph at the Canadian Open. The comeback that never was. Except it was. Montreal, August 2025. Center court hums under the night lights, a sultry buzz of expectation humming through the air. When Coco Gauff gingerly shuffled back onto the doubles court with Kessler, it felt like a tiny retirement had quietly slipped back into her past. The announcement was playful. Temporarily came out of doubles retirement and got a dub. She quipped on Instagram, the wink that set social media alight. PFSN. The setup, single struggles, and the weight of expectation. Earlier in the tournament, Gauff's singles campaign had felt like watching a high-wire act without a safety net. She conceded a staggering 42 double faults across only 3 matches, a jittery Achilles heel at the most inopportune time. TalkSport. Essentially sports. +1. Stories of serve woes, technique critiques from legends like Rick Matchy, and exasperated observations from Lindsay Davenport painted a portrait of a champion at war with her racket and body. Essentially sports. Yardbarker. With every wobble of her second serve, pundits whispered, had she perhaps taken time off ahead of the hardcourt season, skipping Washington to train, just when she most needed match rhythm. Gauff's own regret echoed through her post-match honesty. Maybe that wasn't the right call. Essentially sports. Then came the upset. Victoria Mboko, an 18-year-old Canadian with nothing to lose, dismantled the world number 2 in straight sets, 6-1, 6-4. The roar of the hometown crowd turned bittersweet. Cheers from Mboko, sighs for Gauff. The loss stung, and for many, it signaled the end of Gauff's Canadian Open altogether. Yardbarker. Essentially sports. The retirement that wasn't, and the twist of fate. And yet, then came the twist. Gauff, who had retired from doubles, suddenly reemerged. More than that, she delivered performance. Gauff and Kessler defied expectation, surviving 3 brutal matches that all went to final set tiebreaks. Then in the final, against experienced Taylor Townsend and Zhang Shuai, they clawed through a nerve-shredding super tiebreak, winning 6-4, 1-6, 1-3, 1-1, to lift the doubles trophy. TalkSport. PFSN. She celebrated it with her trademark mix of humility and humor. On social media, she laughed at her own retirement, posted jubilant photos with her partner, and added, "Fun 2 weeks here in Montreal. Glad I got to leave here with another one for the cabinet #10dubs. Thank you at McCartney_ for playing with me and for being so clutch, haha." PFSN. The emotional undercurrents. It was a tiny rebirth, where singles saw unraveling nerves and technical hiccups. Doubles revealed Gauff's calm under pressure, the spark that became, for a moment, unstoppable. 0 double faults in doubles contrasted sharply with the spinning disaster of her single serve, proof that sometimes the heart plays best when the mind loosens its grip. TalkSport. It was a moment to remember. The crowd that witnessed her defeat in singles now cheered her triumph in doubles. The player who'd announced a poetic retirement turned around and reminded everyone, a champion never truly walks away, not if there's still fight left to give. Words Gauff didn't say, but we can feel. There's no record of her saying, "I came back to win." Yet that's exactly what echoed off her racket strings. She turned a stumble into a springboard, turning doubt into drive. Maybe retirement was just a dramatic punctuation, not a period. And so, the surprising twist. Not a goodbye, but a chapter pivot.